we are celebrating quantity. That is all right. We are the most populous nation. We are the most naturally endowed nation. I think the real challenge is that our party must work to also move on to become the most skilled nation, the most united nation, the most respected nation, not on account of our size, but on account of what we have accomplished. And that is why I am in love with the point you have made, sir, that we mustn't copy bad language from the other party that have been sacked from power. We are the largest party. That is what they said. In economics, there can be diseconomies of scale. And in a modern world, small can be beautiful. Yes. Therefore, what we should celebrate is how smart are we? Yes. How democratic are we? How inclusive are we? How participatory are our processes for decision making? How much influence do the ordinary member have on policies of APC? How do we bottom up rather than top down? I wanted to develop this one so that it will be clear to members of the public who we are and why we are different. Lastly, I have seen endless, there's a way the devil can try to set an agenda to confuse believers. I am not aware that at any forum, at any organ of the party, that there was a decision to change a slogan that we all agreed to change. And as far as I know, we haven't changed it. Our slogan remains APC change. Now you listen so that there is no further confusion. APC change. APC deepen the change. APC sustain the change. We must sustain the change. We must deepen the change. And when we sustain the change and deepen the change, and we are consistent, then progress will be the outcome. Progress is an outcome of a sustained change. So, for people who want to deceive people, we have a duty to correct them. On this one, Papa will not be allowed to deceive Pekin, which some people call PDP. I hope Secondus, my dear friend, understood this, so he can look for other things to say. We are proud of our slogan. We are committed to it. I know that when they were campaigning in Edo, their slogan was change the change. I say yes, they are honest on that. Because a change that we deny them access to treasury, they are bound to be committed to change it. A change that for the first time, former governors are being convicted, not through plea bargain. Oh yes, they must try to change that change. A change that has eliminated fake collection of subsidies from NNPC. Oh yes, they must be committed to change that change. But Nigerians who were victims of this massive looting, they are committed to sustaining the change. Nigerians whose properties have been destroyed, they are committed to sustaining the change. Every black man who have looked forward to the new leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari, including President Obama, who in my presence in Washington, in the Oval Office, I'm not dropping names, so if you doubt me, I bring the photograph. He said to our president, say, Mr. President, with you as President of Nigeria, America has renewed confidence of partnership with Africa. He said, when those Chibok girls were kidnapped, it was like a sharp arrow, to the conscience of the international community. But we called Abuja. For 1 week, Abuja is not sure if anybody was kidnapped. For 2 weeks, Abuja was debating, and so US could not intervene. Now, some people also tried to blackmail us. They resorted to also kidnapping additional girls. We not only properly admit that it happened, the president did what he had to do to rescue most of those girls. That is leadership. For them, they want to change that change. But for Nigerians, they want to sustain the change and deepen the change. Cameron says Nigeria is fantastically corrupt. For them, they must sustain that fantastically corrupt country. But the Archbishop of Canterbury also, excuse my accent, he said, yes, Cameron, yes. No, before then, when Cameron said Nigeria is fantastically corrupt, President Buhari went to London and said, sir, thank you. I have not come here to agree about that. Indeed, that is why I'm fighting at home. But the one already stolen, return it. I will ask the average Nigerian, if our president has account in the UK or anywhere in European Union or in America, you think he will have the courage to say, Cameron, it's okay, fantastically corrupt, fantastically return the money? He wouldn't say so. Those writing letters now, they can't say so. Because they will be forced, they will be exposed. And the Archbishop of Canterbury said, there is a president in Nigeria now who is fantastically fighting corruption. Our president went to US recently, under Trump. President Trump, as you know, speaks his mind. And as usual, he said, you know, Nigeria is notorious for corruption. But then he went on to say, the good news is, Mr. President, you are fighting corruption. We will give you all the support you need to continue to fight corruption. So, the African unions, African heads of state, on their own volition, acknowledge President Muhammadu Buhari as an outstanding African leader who is an example on how to fight corruption. And they gave him an award. They honored him. But back home, opposition couldn't say he's not fighting corruption. They say he's selective. He's fighting, but he's selective. And I have been, reflecting on that. How can it be that what the whole world can see, the local people at home can't see it? And as I was reflecting, I watched our president recently asking questions rhetorically. You have spent 60 billion PDP under the first president on power. And our president said, where is power? For emphasis, he repeated, where is the power? Nigerians in their various homes, those who have power that day or generator, said, Mr. President, we don't have. So $60 billion spent. The more dollars they spend, the more darkness the people suffer. Now the question I do in my mind is, okay, maybe because the president has not yet proceeded to now ask the follow-up question, since we don't find the power, then you must bring the 60 billion that you spent. If he doesn't do that, then the accusation of limited anti-corruption may begin to have some currency. So to assist PDP to overcome this thing, our president needs to do the needful. After all, it's already on record. What other president did he do with regards to the issue of MKO Abiola and the criminal manner in which the election was nullified, that people pretended that that was never an issue? Our president showed courage. That same courage should not fail him, so that he can proceed to recover the 60 billion back into the treasury from the man who superintended over the spending of that money. When he do that, people will say, yes, there's a difference. Because there are Nigerians who are saying, and that includes Professor Wole Soyinka, that if people had, if they had immunity as sitting presidents, when the immunity expires, should they transit to immunity or impunity? I think impunity is more deadly than immunity. So all we need to do as a party is to provide the support that our president needs, and for Nigerian people to provide those supports. And then they want to discuss